Alright, we're back. Big rust break. That video is getting too long. Okay, so these here are 883 Sportster cylinders. They were good for painting around because they're short enough you can put nuts up here to hold them down. They are sculpture cut so you can see more of the gasket surface. See, these are more straight. So make sure things are covered all the way in there more. And they're cheap. Nobody wants stock 883 cylinders. So they're always laying around somewhere in the shop, door stops. So instead of buying some fancy stuff or putting a couple rolls of tape on the damn cylinders, just put these on there. It protects the studs a little pretty good too, because it's hard enough it beats on it, won't just fold over on you. So they work really good. So don't throw away all your old junk parts. They become useful at times. Okay, these are just on your finger tight. Spacers. So I had a rag in there, not a bag in there. Ah, damn, there's no dirt in there now. How'd that happen? Okay, so we have no dirt. Perfect. Now, normally I put oil inside this motor for pre-lubricant, but he has to ship this motor overseas, so they can't have any extra oil in this thing. So, before he starts it, take out the timing plug and put about a pint of oil in the crank. That way, as soon as the motor starts to spin, it's blowing oil out everywhere inside the crank. It'll blow in the cam chest and lubricate everything. Lubricate everything in the cam chest and get everything lubricated. So, including the cylinders, everything. So normally I put oil in there right now and work it in. But we're going to leave it dry this time. Yeah, there's another one. Ugh, these things are heavy. A lot of cast iron on these things. Alright, they're out of the way. More towels and more baggies. Ooh, look at that. More lubricant. Very important. Lubricate the pin bushings. The thing I like to lubricate is the studs here, the threads. You don't want bolts to go on dry. Any torque threaded fastener should be lubricated with something to make it slide easier. Oil works, Loctite works, something. This is heavy duty assembly lube, so it's got pretty slippery additives in there. So it works good for this application too. Every major bolt manufacturer has a special lube they like to use, so it doesn't matter what it is. Well, you got something in there. Okay, that's lubed. Now we need some gaskets. Don't forget to put together with no gaskets. Okay, these are the metal gaskets. These have rubber coated, and these have real rubber, not that little tissue paper stuff you can't see. This has real rubber on it. Make sure you don't cut the gaskets when you open the package in here. Try not to bend them either. Oh, lost something. More likely is the O-rings for the head gaskets. Don't lose them. Okay, we got a rocker box gasket, head gaskets, big fat ones that take the O-rings. Probably look like those right there, see? Well, look at that. Imagine that. And we got the metal base gaskets. Now these are rubber, see how they're real thick rubber? I call them vulcanized gaskets, but because they got rubber vulcanized to steel. And they got that stupid ass silicone bead on there that squirts out the side of the motor and gives you red dingleberries hanging out. Doesn't do any damn thing other than that. Anyway, make sure you put these down. Make sure you put the oil gallery and the dowel pin hole in the right spot so you can actually assemble the motor. Now, big twin gaskets are square. Sportster gaskets have the cutouts to look like the other ones, the other cylinders. These go on dry because the rubber material and everything else is the sealer. So no sealer required on this. Okay, so now when you put the cylinders down, you just got to make sure that you clear everything to go on there. Okay, this is the side that's open because I purposely put the wrist pin to go in from this side because there's more room. We do have to put the front one on the front this time. Okay, that is the front cylinder. So it goes on front. Now, in case you know the right and the left, push rods are on the right. Okay, like that. Make sure you put some rags or something down inside of here. So those stupid clips take a flying hike, you don't lose them. This rag isn't quite big enough. Put that one in the back hole. Put it over here on this side too if you want, doesn't matter. As long as nothing goes down in the holes there. I've had to take motors apart before to get clips when I got lazy in the old days. I learned how not to be lazy. Okay, now we're going to put these in the same way. Remember, do not bend the damn thing. Stick it up in there. Push with your thumb as hard as you can. Do the rest with the screwdriver. It's just a spring. That's all it is. Okay, push the tang over. That one popped in. See if you can rotate it. It moved a little bit. Perfect. So if it rotates, that means it's in the groove usually. Oop. Cylinder just self-installed. See that? You gotta make sure you take all this crap out that's in the way before the cylinder goes down all the way. Very important. Here, pull the rag out. Now you can drop it down. Now, if you go like this and start beating on it to get the rings past the rings, you can pinch the gasket, put a wedge in it, cause a problem. So what I like to do is put the piston in the cylinder before I drop it down. So that means you come up here like this, and you shove it up in the cylinder. And then when you come down with the gasket, you can make sure it's on the gasket where it belongs. It drops down nice and easy. Then you hold the cylinder down and you pull up with the rod on this side. Now I have low ring drag, so the cylinder goes up pretty quickly. Pistons. Now double check, make sure your dumbass put the piston in correctly. There's two things we're looking for dumbass. One is front one goes in the front, and second is forward. Now, in case you don't know what forward means, when you're sitting on your fat ass on the bike and you're holding on to them handlebars, left is left, right's right, forward's forward, back's back. Okay? That's how everything is figured. Right, left, forward, front, rear. Same for a car. sit in your dumb ass next to the front driver's seat, that's what it means. Some people get confused. It's not when you're standing in the front of the car and right is on right. Right on right when you're in front of the car is left. Okay, now this one here we gotta do the same thing with. Oh, I forgot to do something, dumbass. Yeah. What did I forget to do? Anybody know? Forgot to put the oil on it. Pre-lube. There's no oil on the cylinder right now. And there's no oil on the crank, so we can't put any oil in there because we're shipping it overseas. So you can put oil on the skirt right now. Okay, now we're pre-lubed. We look really good. This went on the case over there. Alright. Ooh, that wipes up easy. That clear coat really wipes the oil off real easy. No residue. Not much sticks to that stuff. I wonder if you can write on it. You might not be able to write on it. It might not stick. Anti-graffiti. Okay. Where'd I leave off? Oh yeah. Dumbass is putting the cylinder on. Now, if you're really smart, you check to make sure it's forward before you put it on. See how forward's over here? Oh, the cylinder's backwards. Go this direction. Yeah, the forward now is forward. Hold on, dumbass. Put the damn cylinder where it belongs. Okay. Rag it up. I like rags better than plastic. Okay. See, clips right where I left it. If you always leave your parts where you can find them, you don't lose them. Okay, so this one here. Just trying to put it over here so maybe you can see better. See how I do this? This ought to be interesting to see if you can see it. Put it down here lower. Okay. So put this into the groove first, like that. Okay, just the right spot. This stud's in my way. Go the other direction so I get access to my. See, now I can put my thumb in here where it belongs. Okay, see, I can put a lot of pressure on it with my thumb. I just push a little bit with my screwdriver. Remember, don't push this into your side of your thumb unless you want to. See, I'm using my finger around here so I can't go too far. You heard it pop in. Let's see if I can rotate it up a little bit. Okay. The light is killing me. The camera light's killing my vision here. Here, I didn't get the groove right now. The clip is over the groove right now, so you can't go past it. But I can back it up a little bit. Cylinder's a little high. Yeah, I can't get in there. Alright, well, it's in there. Alright. So what did you forget to do last time? Everybody remember? Just out a few minutes ago. What did we forget to do? Oh yeah, put oil on it. Hey. It goes here, not up there, dumbass. A lot of dumbasses around here. Don't screw up the gasket either way, pull the rag out. Okay, now you're going to have to hold this cylinder down when you shove the other one down. First we're going to get the piston on here. Okay, now we rotate it. So it's not going to rotate because it's straight up and down. Tap it in the way we want it to be. There we go. Bingo. Now we're all the way down. Now I put a crank tool on here to spin it. If you don't have a crank tool, there's a nut that goes on here, compensator nut. You can put that nut on there and spin it with that. Looks like this. It works good. You just have to turn the motor backwards. Okay, this one here you can put on any way you want. It goes back, it goes left forward backwards. Okay, so hold both cylinders down. We're doing a mechanical test, make sure nothing contacts anything. Oop. Not pushing hard enough. Okay, nothing hit. It says if hit the pistons hit each other, or the rods hit something, they go clunk, or you would feel a tight spot, you would stop, back up, fix it. It's a lot easier to fix it right now than after you put the heads on it. Okay, so that's on there. Turn it back this direction, easier to see. Okay, so now we have heads that need to be put on. So we've got gaskets. These are made to go on dry. The only problem is this part here can use a little coating on it. So you're supposed to put these on dry. I have been known to not do that. Okay, where's our O-rings at? O-rings. Okay, these are your O-rings. They go around these stud holes here, dowel holes. Now these should be a little bit thicker than the head gasket, but not a lot thicker. Now back in the old days we had 60 thou head gaskets, we had 70 something thou O-rings. Now the gaskets are usually 45 thousands, and they're still putting a 70 thou O-ring on it. So sometimes when you put these on there, they blow out the gasket because this has to compress in half the thickness. It also takes a lot of torque off the head bolt over here. I've seen the gaskets actually not even sit against the cylinder when these are tight because the O-rings are so damn stiff they won't let the head go down. I've seen that happen. Okay, so these here, I like to spray these a little bit. We can get our head bolts out. We're putting new bolts on it. These are actually nuts. They look like bolts, but they're nuts. So these are fancy Colony ones. Expensive. Good quality though. Never broken one, never seen one broken. Never seen one stripped either. So whatever they're making them out of looks pretty good. Now I've broken Harley ones before. Now here the new M8 bikes like to break these things shear off right here because they're cheap. Reading some junk about it. Stupid M8 bikes. Another pile of crap Harley came up with. Okay, now these here don't have anything in there. There's no oil in these things. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll take my assembly lube, put a little drop of oil in it. So even though we've already assembled up oil into the motor on the studs already, it doesn't hurt to put a little drop here because this is on top of the stud. It lubricates the nut threads before it gets to the bolt or the stud. But you only need just a little bit. Don't need to load the thing up full of oil all the way up. If you put too much oil in there, it'll hydraulically lock and you won't be able to torque it. If you don't understand why that happens, you can always Google it. Hydraulic lock. Okay. Alright, just a little bit, not much. Just enough to put something on the damn thing. Alright, so we got O-rings down. Everything looks good. Let me torque these. Where's my head gasket material? There it is. Head gasket in a can. They don't make this anymore, but still Mercedes Benz uses some of this stuff for their exhaust headers nowadays. You can buy it in Europe, that's what I heard. I don't know. You can use dull aluminum paint too, but this is a lot thicker. This can's probably 25 years old right now. When they discontinued back in the 90s, I bought every can I could get. I still got a case or two floating around. On my race bike, this is all I use. I don't have head gaskets. You just put down some paint and assemble. Okay, so this here is for, I'm not concerned about this surface, I'm concerned about the metal part right in here. So, there you go. Put a thin layer like that on there. There you go. And just lay it up on the motor here. Make sure it goes over those O-rings. Bingo. We do the next one. And most flathead motors don't use gaskets either. They just use paint. A lot of them do. Yeah. Go look up my single cylinder race bike or my flathead race bike. You'll see how I do my motors. I only have that in there. That's all you need. If everything's machined correctly, you don't need no stupid gaskets. It's only when you can't machine anything correctly you need gaskets. Tell that to the manufacturers. Okay, so that's getting tacky. That's fine. We've got our heads laying over here. Boom, right here. This appears to be a front head. So I'd put it on first in the front. That's how I would do it. Alright, look for the dowel. There we go. Next thing I do is I put a little more assembly lube on my bolts here. I put lubricant right here in the face of it right here. Now these are chromes that are pretty shiny already, but pretty slippery. A little extra oil doesn't hurt. I just put 2 on each side, a little bit on each. Whoop! I just put a little bit right here on each side like that. That's all it takes. So you get down here, you can see better. I go through a lot of assembly oil when I do a bike, see? A little bit there, a little bit right there, it'll smear around. Boom. Go around until I start. Maybe wiggle them around. Okay, there's that one. Yeah, wrench. Gotta go get a deep well, 1/2 inch, 12-point socket. That's what goes on these things. Down, ratchet out. Borrow my tools and bring back my mini ratchet. I got time to go hunting for it, so let's go with this here. Let's get all these things started a little bit. Down until they just touch. Do a cross pattern on them. I want to put a couple foot-pounds on there is all I'm doing. I'm just pulling them down. Still movable a little bit. When we get the back cylinder, we do the same thing. Put oil on our bolts again. You put the top in, it makes it look like you did a lot of work real quick. 2 days of prep work underneath it's what you don't see. Those heads I got, let's see, I worked on about 6-7 hours yesterday. And they were already clean and painted. I worked on another 4 hours tonight doing all the porting. And we spent another hour or so on video putting them together. Not quite that long. I don't care about too much. Probably about 45 minutes, I'd say. And why I don't make no money doing these motors like this. I work too many hours doing stuff. It's hard to make money when you do it right. You don't work quick enough. Got probably about $1,200 for the hour rate, not counting tooling, machining, cutters. Nobody wants to pay that much to do a set of heads, we'll buy new ones. Okay, heads are down. Take a quick visual, make sure it's against the gaskets like they're supposed to be. All looks good. Just want to make sure nothing's hanging in the air. If something's hanging in the air, it's a good time to stop. You can also look at the base gaskets down here too, make sure they're seated firmly on the bottom like they're supposed to be. Actually, only got 1 or 2 pounds of torque on the bolts, if even that much. Okay, now we got to center up the manifold. My customer didn't bring me his manifold, so I have a tool that goes from here to here. Set dimension. Harley made it back in the day. See, alignment bracket. Looks like that. There's a Harley tool. Number, 01. Made in 01. Anyway, it works, kind of. So basically, it goes across the bolts. It's got adapter sleeves here for twin cam, which are in there right now, so I guess he's on a twin cam last. It's got hardware right in here that I've added. I like adding hardware. So we're not using twin cam size hardware. We're using real bolts. Okay, so you gotta push these out. Boom, they're out. They're just sleeves, you just push them out. Okay, now you got a tool. Goes from here to here. What? Oh, this has got little dinky holes in it. This is a non-breather motor. Damn it. That didn't work out correctly. Okay, that's why I have adapters for 5/16 bolts in here. Problem is I don't have any 5/16 bolts laying around here. What's up with that? Sorry, I know where those are at real quick. Sportster case bolts. Ironhead Sportster. When I talk about Sportsters, I'm not talking about Evo Sportsters. Actually, it doesn't work, so I need to torque these in. Damn it. I actually need to correct bolt wings. Alright, I'm going to go get the right bolts. Be right back. Okay. Now we got new tools. Early Evo. Same size bolt as this. Look at that. Okay, so now that holds the heads in proper, holds the heads in a proper location for tightening. I'm sure this high quality plastic is not going to bow or stretch at all, right? It's going to stay right perfect. Does anybody believe that? Okay, now we can go ahead and torque the head bolts. Now you can use a clicker style torque wrench like this one, which works when it feels like it. They don't always click when they're supposed to. Or you can use a dial style wrench, I like. This is older than God. And then some. So I like these because I can see what the torque is going on. If it's not building up very quickly, I can see how slowly it's building. So I have an idea where we're at on the torque. Plus, there's no doubt where you're at. You have to wait for some stupid click that might come or might not come. So I like the old way of doing things. Okay, so you put a little tension on there. A little tension, a little tension, a little tension. Now you can go look in the Harley book what your torque pattern is. I don't know if you start in the front or the back. I don't give a shit. Doesn't matter. Start with 1 to 2 holes on the left side. Your choice. Put a little tension on it. A little tension. You do an X on the second one. You do this one, and you do that one. Okay. That was your first torque. Now you add a little more torque to it. I just go whatever feels good. Let's see how much feels good. Feels good about That's about 15 foot-pounds. I do not do 90-degree turns after I feel some stupid torque either. I torque to a real number. I don't care if they say it's more accurate the other way. Okay. Now I usually pull these to about 30 foot-pounds right now. That's 30. 30. 30. Somebody's here to help me, see, it's moving. 30. So you see the dial right here. It goes right to 30. Don't know if you can see that or not. Probably not. Up here you might be able to see it, I don't know. Probably not. Anyway, the dial builds up as you go. So you can see what it's doing. And when you get up to 30, it's just progressively, it's going boop, 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 a little bit at a time, and you see it progressively getting more and more. The more you torque it, the more it goes up. So that's what you're looking for. Nice, steady, progressive increase. Not just keep turning the wrench and nothing's happening. That means something's pulling. Okay, so now it gets a little bit harder from here because I can hold this one pretty easy. This one's the wrong side. I have to spin the motor around. Okay, now we're going to go to, usually I use 38 foot-pounds as for a stock motor. If you're doing a high compression motor, you can pull them to 40. But 38 is pretty good on a Harley case, especially in these weak-ass 90s cases. So I don't like getting a lot more than that. 36 is your minimum. Not very good. An S&S case, you usually pull like 42, 43. You can pull up to 45, but that's the maximum number. Don't go any more than 45. And I don't recommend that either. I stop about 42. Unless there's a 11-to-1 detonation, turbo blown, something. Unless there's some other reason to go more, I don't go that high. Okay, now what you can do right now, instead of having this at 0, you can set this at a number you want. So you go 30. 5 is right there, and 8 is right there. Now you pull it to 0. You have to see what you're at. Except I went the wrong direction, dumbass. So you go this direction now. And there's what, 38. Okay, where I can see it would be nice. Okay, that would be right there, 38 pounds. Now you do is you pull it right to 0. Look for where 0's at. That's 0. Do the same thing, too far around. 0. I'm holding the motor over here so it's not rotating. 0. Too far. This one here. 0. Alright, so that's how you do that. So that's one head done. Now you do the other head. Just have to spin this thing around so I can hold the motor and torque it. Okay, we'll start on this one here. 0. 0. Do your cross. 0. 0. Alright, we torqued it. So if you're in doubt what you just did, you come back and look at your number. You should be at 38 still. Okay. Now when I was torquing that wrench, I was watching what the needle was doing the whole time, so I could see if it was soft. You know, as I'm moving the lever, it's not getting tighter. It did a nice progressive torque up to 38, so it's a nice, strong, solid case, good studs, good everything. If you had something that wasn't working right, you would see it and feel it in this here and how it felt. With a clicker wrench, you don't know. You just pull it until it goes click. You don't know anything. And if it doesn't click, like they do a lot of times, you over torque it. and you're screwed again. So you have to back it up and come back, which means you just over pulled it. Those stupid clickers and wrenches like to do that a lot, especially when it's important, like on these stupid motors. Now in a real motor, you don't have to torque it, just tighten the damn things down good and tight and you're good. It's only these stupid ass aluminum motors, the through studs, you gotta do all that fancy work. Okay, now this here should be at the right dimension because we were holding it with this tool. At least that's what we hope it's at. So, got the bolts nice and tight. Good. See how we got a little bit of clearance in all the threads. Everything moves nice and easy, so it's right on center. Now, if this was all bound up, we know that it was under tension. So this is nice and loose, like it should be. So it's good. So it's whatever this length is what it's set at. Now, if you want to make your own tool, you want to know what the length is. You measure it. It's just under 6 inches. That's what it is. So you go center a hole. Camera light sucks. 100 thou under 6 inch. 5.9 inches. Remember that. 5.9 inches. That's the number used. If you can't remember what that is, it's 100 thou less than 6 inches. If you can't remember that, make it an eighth. 25 thou ain't gonna make no damn difference. So you just make an 1/8 inch less than 6 inches. So that shouldn't be too hard to figure out. Okay, so I got some new hardware to put in my bolts here. Alright, so that's all torqued in there now. Now what you want to do is turn the motor over and make sure the heads don't hit the pistons don't hit the heads. I've had that happen before. Not on stock motors, but modified motors. So here's my tool. See what happens. It didn't go clunk. Now you want to know how to break a motor in? I'm breaking the motor in right now. It's well lubed right now. Alright, it's broken in. Okay, compression already. That's suction. And blows off. Good compression. It's holding a vacuum. Sucks, blows first. That sucks. So you know your valves are sealing because it'll hold a vacuum. That's how you do a test on how good your valves are. Do a vacuum test. You can do that with the motor altogether too, doesn't matter. So you go until it blows off. Once it blows off, pull your finger on the hole, put suction on it, hold it, wait a few seconds. There you go. See? Simple. You don't need no fancy tools. All your tools are right in front of you, just use them. It's right between your ears. That's your first tool that you need to use. Okay, we got to put the rocker boxes on, so I don't know where exactly we're at. So you have to get ready to do that. Gonna uncork the holes. Okay, let me go get some more parts, because we're out of parts right now. We need some rocker stuff. So I'll be back.